There is a language spoken in every room you walk into, a conversation happening right in front of you that you have been deaf to for years. And I'm not talking about some silly pickup line or a seduction trick. I reject that noise completely. I'm talking about the unspoken language of mature attraction. A woman at this stage of life is not going to text you a dozen heart emojis or chase you down the street. She is going to tell you she is interested without ever parting her lips. Most men never notice this. They walk right past the door she just cracked open. But you are here because you suspect there is more. You are ready to stop guessing and start seeing the silent signals that lead to a deep connection. By the time I'm done speaking, you will walk into any room feeling a calm, masculine presence, knowing exactly who is drawn to you and why. You will finally understand what she's really looking for. Let's be honest about the problem that brings you here. You've been around long enough to know that the dating landscape has shifted. Maybe you're coming out of a long marriage, or you've been on your own for a while, and the women you meet seem impossible to read. The directness of youth is gone. You look at a woman in her late 50s or 60s and think, is she just being polite? Is this friendly chatter or something more? And in that moment of confusion, most men at this stage do the one thing that guarantees they stay alone. They lean in too hard with words. They overtalk. They try to impress with stories instead of listening to what her body language reveals. Or worse, they assume she's not interested because she didn't giggle like a schoolgirl. My friend, the pain of missing this is real. It's the quiet drive home from the grocery store or the book club where you replay the conversation and wonder, was that an invitation? It's the feeling that you've lost your edge, that perhaps desire is a young man's game. It is not. But you must learn to see the map she is drawing for you. Researchers who study human behavior and connection have observed a fascinating shift that happens with age. The nervous system of a mature woman operates on a completely different set of priorities than it did at 25. This is biological truth. Her wiring is less concerned with adrenaline and butterflies and more concerned with emotional safety and longevity. This is why what worked for you in 1985 doesn't work now. Not because you are less, but because she is looking for a completely different set of signals. She is not waiting for a wild adventure. She is scanning the room for a harbor. Her subconscious is asking one question over and over: will this man disturb my peace, or will he deepen it? When you understand that her attraction starts in her sense of security, the three signals we are about to cover will feel like turning on a light in a dark room. But before I give you the first two, I want you to know there is one signal so powerful, so deeply rooted in her desire for a deep connection that most men over 60 never see it coming. I'm saving that for the end. Let's begin with the first love signal. I call it the lingering frame. This isn't about a woman staring at you like she's hypnotized. That's for the movies. The lingering frame is about the angle of her torso. At this stage of life, a woman is acutely aware of her personal space and her time. She has learned to protect both. If you are in a conversation, maybe in the produce aisle or at a dinner party, and she turns to face you, that's baseline politeness. But watch what happens when a third person joins the conversation. Watch what happens when a distraction occurs. If her body stays angled towards you, if her shoulders remain open to you, even when she's speaking to someone else, she's telling you without words, I am anchored here for you. Most men never notice this. They see her talking to the waiter or the neighbor and think, I've lost her attention. They haven't. They've just missed the silent signal. Her body is saying, my mind is momentarily elsewhere, but my presence belongs to you. That is the first spark of mature attraction, the unwillingness to break the physical tether. Now, contrast that with those who don't understand. The man who misses this signal will often shuffle his feet, pull out his phone, or physically step back to give her space. He thinks he's being respectful. He thinks he's giving her an out. In reality, he's just told her nervous system that he is either uninterested or insecure. He's broken the frame. My friend, when a woman over 50 gives you the lingering frame, your job is simple. Hold your ground. Breathe. Let her orbit in your presence. That's it. That calm masculine presence is louder than any compliment you could pay her. Let's move to the second signal. This one is so subtle, you'll kick yourself for missing it over the years. I call it the texture invitation. As women age, they become incredibly selective about physical touch. Not because they don't crave it, they absolutely do, but because they've been touched carelessly too many times. They've been bumped into, grabbed for handshakes, or hugged by people who drain their energy. So when a mature woman is interested in more than just conversation, she will create a context for contact. She will do this by drawing attention to a surface. She might touch the sleeve of her own sweater and say, "This cashmere is so soft." She might run her hand along the wooden table and comment on the grain. She might even brush a leaf off your shoulder with a comment about the wind. Now, the untrained eye sees this as just fidgeting or small talk about fabric. That's the problem. Most men hear soft cashmere and their brain either thinks about dry cleaning or just nods and says, "Nice." They completely miss the unspoken language. What she is doing, my friend, is extending an invitation. She is subconsciously prompting you to experience the texture with her. She wants to see if you are attuned enough to her world to notice the detail. She's testing your awareness. If she says, "Feel how smooth this is," and you reach out and gently touch the cuff of her sleeve, without making it weird, just a brief, grounded connection, you have just crossed a major threshold. You have passed a test that most men fail before they even know they're taking it. It's a way of sharing sensation before sharing intimacy. It is a physical icebreaker that she controls. Respect that control. Acknowledge it. That is the key to her feeling emotional safety with you. Here's where I want to give you a relatable failure flash moment. I was at a gallery opening a few years back, talking to a wonderful woman about 62. She was vibrant, intelligent, and she kept adjusting a silver bracelet on her wrist, one of those chunky ones with an interesting clasp. She mentioned how heavy it was, how it had a unique feel. She even held her wrist out slightly. And what did I do? I nodded and said, "It looks nice." That was it. I missed the texture invitation completely. I was thinking about the art, about what to say next, about whether I sounded smart. And her face didn't fall dramatically. Mature women don't do that. But the light behind her eyes dimmed just a fraction. The door closed. She was telling me without words, "Here is a bridge. Come meet me halfway." And I stood there on the shore waving instead of walking across. Don't be that man. Learn to recognize when she is giving you a reason to close the distance. We've covered the lingering frame and the texture invitation. Those are the maps of space and touch. But now we get to the third signal, and this one is the most deceptive because it sounds like the opposite of attraction. It is the comfortable silence. When we are younger, attraction is loud. It's rapid-fire questions, nervous laughter, and filling every pause with chatter because silence feels like rejection. But for a woman who has lived a full life, the ability to stand next to a man and say nothing and not feel the urge to flee is the rarest of all gifts. If you are standing with a woman, maybe looking at the ocean or waiting for coffee, and a pause stretches out for 10, 15 seconds, and she doesn't grab her phone, if she just exhales and stays rooted to the spot, that is a deafening declaration of interest. Her nervous system is not in fight or flight. Her nervous system is at rest near you. That is biological truth. She's telling you without words, your energy is enough. I don't need you to perform for me. But here's the trap. This is where the older gentleman, conditioned by a lifetime of feeling like he must entertain, panics. He feels the silence and thinks, "Oh no, this is awkward. I'm losing her. I need to say something clever." So he blurts out a question about the weather or, God forbid, asks about her ex-husband. He shatters the glass. He trades a deep connection for a weather report. My friend, when she gives you silence, she is giving you trust. The correct response is to take a slow, deep breath yourself. Let the quiet be. Maybe offer a soft, knowing smile. In that moment, you are not two strangers making conversation. You are two people sharing a moment of profound peace. That is what she's really looking for. Someone she can be quiet with. Now, I promised you the most powerful sign. I held this back because it requires a shift in your entire perception of how a mature woman expresses desire. I call this the deliberate disclosure of the flaw. Men over 60 often operate under the illusion that they must be perfect. Strong jaw, perfect story, no weakness. They think she wants a statue. She does not. She wants a human. When a mature woman is starting to see you as a potential partner, she will stop showing you her polished public self and will start revealing the tiny cracks. She might mention she forgot where she parked the car. She might admit she's terrible at technology or that she snores a little. She might self-deprecate about her reading glasses getting lost. Pay attention, because this is where most men never notice this crucial turn. They hear the self-deprecation and they either try to fix it, "Oh, you just need to use the Tile app," or they ignore it to be polite. Both are failures of the highest order. When she reveals a small flaw, she is checking your response. She is asking, without asking, "Will you make me feel small for being human? Will you use this against me? Or will you see this as the beautiful, textured layer of a real person?" The proper response is not to fix it. It's to join her in that humanity. You say something like, "I've learned to just walk in circles until my car alarm goes off." Or you share a small, true flaw of your own. This is the secret handshake of mature attraction. It's the moment where the mask drops and she sees that you are a man of substance, not a man of ego. This is what makes her feel powerful and desirable again too, because you've made it safe for her to be real. So let's bring this home. There is no manipulation here, no games, just the unspoken language of people who have lived, loved, and lost. These love signals, the lingering frame, the texture invitation, the comfortable silence, and the deliberate disclosure of the flaw are her way of saying, "I am open to you." You just need the eyes to see it and the quiet confidence to honor it. If this understanding has shifted something for you today, if a light bulb has gone off about a past interaction or about how you'll show up tomorrow, then I encourage you to hit that subscribe button. Not for me, but so more men like us can access this understanding, so we can stop chasing shadows and start recognizing the real, silent invitations being extended to us every single day. Next time, we're going to talk about the one question a mature woman asks herself in the first 60 seconds of seeing you, and your answer is not what you say out loud. It's what you do with your hands. You will not want to miss it. In the comments right now, I want to know, which of these 4 signals surprised you the most? Was it the silence? Or maybe you just realized you've been missing the texture invitation your whole life? Let me know below. I read them all. For now, my friend, walk tall and watch closely. She's telling you without words.